We now turn to one of the most important developments, not just for employers and workers, but for the world at large. You'd have to be living under a rock to be unaware of the impact artificial intelligence, AI, is having in almost every sphere of our lives. The technology is moving so fast and has such extensive implications for everything from privacy to job displacement that the EU has sought to regulate it with the AI Act. In this feature session, we're going to hear from acclaimed growth and talent development leader and founder of SP Consulting, Stephanie Prenderville. For over 25 years, Stephanie's been helping businesses worldwide drive results through their people by leveraging leadership, culture, and now AI and technology. She's recognized for creating enabling cultures and capacity for change and has guided companies through diverse growth phases across scale-ups, SMEs, and multinationals. As founder of SP Consulting, she pinpoints where businesses are losing value and implements rapid, cost-effective solutions. Her leadership in growth, talent development, and digital transformation prepares organizations for the future. Stephanie's going to take us through a couple of case studies, including at Leia Healthcare, Mater Private, and Heineken Ireland, to show how HR leaders can embrace AI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephanie Prenderville. There you go. Not at all.
Am I turned on? Can you hear me? Great. I am so excited to be here. And the reason why I am so excited is because I'm going to take you through why to use AI and what it can do for you in your business and in your roles. And the reason why that excites me so much is I love helping organizations and business leaders make their changes successful. And in my career, and I've spent my lifetime helping organizations lead through change, what I have found is the most important, impactful, number one thing to do to make change successful is to start with your people. So as we are looking at talking about getting started with AI today, you're going to hear me talk consistently about the people. And one thing that I'll just mention, as leaders, when we're starting a change program, what we want to have to hand, we want all the answers. We want to have all of our I's dotted, our T's crossed, before we actually go out and start talking about it. I want you to start at the messy beginning with AI, with your people, and go on the journey with them to learn AI together. Oh, sorry. Thought I was there already. So, for those of you who I haven't met before, and Ingrid did a very nice introduction, so that's great. I won't have to cover too much. I am originally from California, and there is another Californian in the room. Where did Grania go? You're in here somewhere. So it's lovely to actually, I've been here now for 25 years. Yes, there's an Irishman who's involved. And if I didn't love him so much, I would be back in California where the sun is a lot warmer. It's lovely to see the sunshine today, but it's absolutely Baltic outside. So in the 25 years that I have been leading organizations through change, as I said, any type of change, whether it's behavioral, whether it's technical, whether it's process-orientated, it all comes back down to the people side. So since I started my consultancy practice 2 years ago, I have delivered countless AI speeches. I have been involved in countless AI presentations. And what I'm seeing consistently is that people are struggling to figure out how AI is relevant to them, to their business, and in their roles. And is it worth the effort? So I want to get a sense of what this audience thinks and where you're at. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions and ask you to raise your hands. So the first one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, raise your hand if you feel that you have proficiency in using AI at above a 5 level. 1 to 10, above a 5. Raise them high, because there's only about 5 or 6. There's maybe 10. Okay, that's fair enough. How many of you then, since there's only a few of you that have had any, some sort of profession, are you getting efficiencies then? Do any of you feel like, in the same group, are you feeling like you're getting efficiency in using AI, either in work or your home life? A few. Okay, there's a few. Well, then the next question is going to become rhetorical, which is, do you feel like you really know how to use AI for your business? Okay, we have a couple. So, that's even a little bit worse than I expected, to be honest. Ireland is behind where other developed nations are when it comes to AI's adoption. We're behind. And if this room indicates we're really behind. If you haven't read the PwC Ireland report that came out at the end of January, contact me. I'll be happy to send it along to you. I posted it on my LinkedIn. I'll give you my LinkedIn QR code at the end of this. But if I summarize what that PwC Ireland report said, it's show me in Ireland where AI has been deployed and show me what difference it's making. That's the Irish way, right? Show me where it's been deployed and show me how it's working. I've been here 25 years, right? Married to an Irishman. The reason why we're hesitating is not because of technology. Yes, we started off being a little bit afraid of it. Last year, then, we got a little bit concerned around the cybersecurity. Why we're really not moving forward with it is because of the mindset and the skills that we need in order to build trust. We haven't quite figured out our emotional relationship yet with AI yet. We're still figuring that out. But waiting is actually not going to be the best choice. The difference of what an organization who chooses to go ahead with AI versus an organization who waits is an exponential difference. So let me give you a very quick example. Have you heard of what the half-life of skills are? So this is something that has been coined over the past 24 months and is extremely relevant for where it is we are now. It means that whenever the last time it was that you took a course where you learned how to do something, where you got certified, the amount of time that would have stayed relevant before you had to learn something new in that space has become half the amount of time. Because the world is moving at such an incredibly fast pace, and technology, particularly with AI driving it, means that our skills last half as long as they used to. So you have two organizations side by side, direct competitors, competitor A, competitor B, similar size organizations, similar products. Both organizations have highly skilled people. The first organization started last year investing in helping their people learn how to prompt, giving them some guidance on how to use AI safely, and starting to do a little bit of trialing with AI. And this year they're going forward with a pilot. They're now in a place where they are seeing fewer errors in the work that they're doing. They're getting more time saved because their administrative work has been, some of it's been given over to AI. They are redeploying that unused time or time saved back onto strategic work that is helping them drive their customer experience, and that is helping them drive the top line and their bottom line growth. And company B is still trying to figure out what to do. Where are they going to be a year from now? So even if these guys try to catch up this year, they're going to struggle with that. My goal today is to equip you with the insights and the examples from Ireland to help you feel motivated and excited and to get you going on your AI journey. And I kind of thought some of you might be a little bit further on the journey, but that's okay. There's no shame, there's no judgment. We're all figuring it out. But I wanted to actually bring this to you today, and that's why I'm so excited to be here. So, the top flow that we're going to go through today, we're going to talk about the why of AI. I'm going to give you 5 enablers that I find to be foolproof in making change successful and that you can apply to AI. and we'll be able to see how those have been used in the stories that I've been able to gather. If you aren't one of the stories, by the way, and you do have AI deployed, or you know of a business that has AI deployed where you're seeing business results, please come and talk to me afterwards, because I have searched the country high and low. You were on my hit list. I just didn't get a chance to get to you, but you're on my hit list. I've searched high and low, and it's like finding hen's teeth. So there aren't a whole lot of stories, but I'm starting a community of practice on AI adoption, so please come talk to me. And then at the end, we're going to come back to you as leaders and what it is that you can do in your businesses to take your people with you on the journey. Okay, one insight that I'd like to be able to share with you is, if you approach AI like a hammer looking for a nail, which is what a lot of organizations are doing, they're going through the lens of how is AI going to be able to help us. If you do that, you're going to miss AI's true potential. What the real potential on AI is exponential insights into your organization through the data analytics at speed and at scale that we've never had before. The productivity that that can release, how it helps us to work smarter, the future readiness that it brings us, and moving you into a market leadership position. The big questions that help you get beyond the hammer and nail conundrum are, what is your organization's vision? Not its vision on AI, but what is your organization's vision? And how can AI as a tool help you realize that vision in a way that no other tool can? That's where AI is helpful for you. And then what is your opportunity to help empower your people to use AI really effectively? Those are the questions that you want to be able to bear in mind. AI isn't always the answer. It's not always the solution. Often, but not always. But if you know what AI can and can't do, you won't have AI FOMO. Does anybody have AI FOMO in here? There's a few people going, yeah, and there's a few people going, no, I'm scared of it still. I'm still not quite sure there. We'll see where we get to. Okay, I wanted to tell you a story. Now, I get very thirsty when I talk, so I really enjoy talking, but give me a moment. And I want to tell you about the story of a friend of mine that I was speaking with who's the CEO of her organization the other day. And we were chit-chatting about each other's businesses. She was telling me how things are going, which is quite well. And we were talking about AI examples, and she knew that I was coming to this, and I've been gathering examples. And she was like, yeah, you know, AI, I haven't gotten around to that yet. I need to do that. And then she said, well, you know, by the way, do you happen to know anybody who can help me automate some of my bookkeeping and some of my admin? There's only 3 of us in the business. And while business is going well, we're really struggling to get to the next level. And I've got all of these great ideas. I was like, well, actually, I do. So I introduced her to my strategic business partners, one of whom is here today. There you are. They went through a series of discovery conversations with her, understood her business, and came back with 6 solutions. Those 6 solutions, at a conservative estimate, will help her save 30% in errors, 40% in manual work, 50% in contract turnaround times, and 60% in client onboarding. Those are conservative estimates. She is now so excited that she got around to it. She's actually thinking about another business model that she's had in her mind for 10 years that will actually make her 10 times more than what her current business is making. And rather than actually applying the 30, the 40, the 50, the 60% savings to the current business, she's now looking at investing it in a whole new business. So understanding what AI can do by just getting started and exploring your business will give you opportunities that you never thought of before. Another insight that I wanted to be able to share with you is I am an advocate of augmenting people with AI rather than replacing people with AI. And the reason for that is humans can do things that AI can't do, at least for right now. And I think this will continue for quite a long time. The emotional intelligence that we bring, I'm seeing nodding, the creative problem solving that humans can do, the relationships that we build, the imagination that we have. AI can't do those things. But what AI does better than what we do is complex problem solving at scale and at speed. And with a level of accuracy, once it's trained, once we've gotten it to a certain point, very reliably, very accurately, the insights that it can bring, and also the mundane, repetitive tasks that humans tend to get bored with and actually tend to make errors on because it's not keeping our focus. Together, it's so much more effective. And if you think that your people are not up for it, that it's beyond what their interests are, that they're not technical orientated, think about starting with growth mindset. If you encourage your people to think about how they grow and how they learn, they can learn anything. And if the message that you're giving them is, we're here to support you, we're here to help you grow and to do it in a safe way, they'll come with you on this journey. So I have the 5 key enablers that I mentioned to you that I have found to be super successful in helping organizations through change. Let me take you through those really quickly, and then we're going to jump into the business case. How are we doing on time?
You're doing okay for the moment.
We're doing okay for the moment. She's the time Nazi, so she's keeping me on track here.
Take another 3 minutes if you want to do questions, but otherwise you've got another 6 minutes.
Oh no, I have 10. Okay, so because I got to get to the cases. But here's what you need to look for when we go through the cases. There's these 5 enablers. The first one are the growth skills. Now, I'm not going to go through, for the sake of time, all the 7 skills that I have here, but you've all got the slides, and you'll be able to go back and see them. I call these gas seed skills. They are your fuels for growth. These are the skills that help you to be more human and allow you to actually be more successful in our modern ways of working. So growth skills. The second one is what I call Goldilocks governance. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's just in the middle, it's just right, it's agile. It helps you to bring transparency, ethical behavior, and the vision of how you're going to support your people on AI. Your third is creating psychological safety. So you're going to get more safety through the skills that you give and through the governance, but you need to do this head on in order to be able to listen to what people are saying, how they feel, in order to be able to act and take them on the journey. Business targets. This always used to be the place where I started. Every change needed to start with the organization's business targets. But in the modern world of work, people want the emotional connection. So I've now made this the 4th thing that I bring into the enablers. And the 5th is making sure that you have a dedicated AI team. That will make sure that your resources are coordinated, that it's prioritized, and that you get your return on investment. So once you've got that ecosystem in place, you are in the right place to be able to have a culture that enables change, the capacity for change, and the capabilities to make the change happen. So we're going to start with Leia Healthcare as our first example. Now, they are a great example to start with, and the one that I've just been delighted to be able to showcase. I'm going to show you a short clip that's about 4.5 minutes, where I had the opportunity to go in and meet Blake Risk, who is the head of IT Business Solutions, and Dan Scannell, the head of customer success, in their offices last week to tell us about their call summary. And this is where their customer service agents are now, they've gone from manually taking notes while being on the phone for their claim calls. The claim calls are emotional. Once you actually have to go on a claim call, there's something that's gone wrong, and people tend to be upset. They've had to take notes, and those were very important for the claim process. That's all now being done by a bespoke program in-house. So let's listen to how it goes. I am delighted to be in Leia Healthcare's offices today, meeting with Dan Scannell, the head of customer success, and Blake Risk, the head of business IT solutions, and they're going to tell us about their AI journey, one that I know you're all going to be really interested in. They're one of the only deployed cases of AI in Ireland today. Guys, so excited to be here. Thank you for allowing us to come in. And today we're going to talk about the customer service agent note-taking. So AI is now doing the automatic note-taking. Can you tell us why that ended up being one of the choices that you ended up going with?
One of the key factors in deciding which solution that we're going to look to implement is the feedback from our team, right? Getting that feedback allows us to look at all of the possible solutions that we could implement or adopt, and choosing the one that's going to have the most impact for those team members in their day-to-day roles.
But we knew within the call center that we needed to provide some relief and some support. One, to reduce cognitive load for the customer care agents, as well as providing a better customer experience for our members.
Tell us, you've made such good progress. Are you actually getting the results you expected to get from the very beginning?
Feedback wasn't necessarily always positive on this solution. So when it was launched first, there were some issues with accuracy. But once we iron those out and work with the team to identify exactly what those issues are and start optimizing the solution based on that feedback, now it's in a place where we're really happy with it and the team are really happy with it. It's doing exactly what they need to do.
Now that you've had the call summary AI in place for just over a year, how are your customer service agents responding?
With the time saved, they're able to actually spend more time on other types of calls and provide a better quality time to our members during those calls. So take a renewal call, for example, and someone has additional questions. They have the time to really give them the time and effort and feedback that the customer or the member needs to get the answers that they want.
What were the unexpected things that happened, the good and maybe some of the negatives?
Some of the real benefits that we've experienced since launching that tool is realizing that we can reuse that same technology in other spaces, in other solutions, either for the team members that use this tool or for team members in other areas of the business. It's very reusable, so any AI solution that we build in the future is probably going to use elements of this AI solution that we've built in the past.
At any stage, were your employees concerned about losing their roles?
No one's lost their job. The reason being is that we want people to do the things that they do best, which is use your brain, think as a person, use your emotion, use your instincts and your experience that you're never going to get out of a computer.
Were there trust issues that you had to consider?
When it launches first, it's new for people, so there's a kind of a nervous anticipation around it, and then people start encountering the odd error as well, so trust can reduce a bit, and I think that was unexpected. We thought it was going to be fantastic from the outset, but actually that gave us the opportunity to go back to our team again for feedback and figure out what are the things that they see that we can change about this product that allow us to improve it. So they're not only part of the design phase of this product, but now that it's been released, they're giving the feedback that allows us to improve it every month.
What's the cost savings? What's the revenue return? What's your return on investment from all the work that you've put in? You've got the capital outlay, the technical investment, the training, the time, the resources. Tell us how it's working out for you.
A couple different examples. One, the call summary, we got better results than we thought we were going to get. We're saving a minute 30 over a minute. You can quantify that into a monetary number if you like. From my perspective, it's about call volume and being able to provide a better experience to our member, right? I have other areas where I've deployed other AI technologies, say in my claims space, where sure, absolutely, we're seeing the dial move when it comes to ROI from our investment to the fact that we're saving money. That's quantifiable and very quantifiable due to the fact that we're processing claims in a much more efficient manner.
So just finishing off on this case and making a couple of points. They hit all 5 of the key enablers that I talked about. One thing that, just for time, we ended up not including in the clip is they've started an AI academy that they're rolling out to all their employees, but they're also specifically adding additional levels of support for the areas such as customer service where they're using AI hands-on in one of their 6 different business cases. One of the other things they have done that's really remarkable is, you heard Dan talk about it, it didn't start off great. The customer service agents, even though they were brought in at the messy beginning, they were like, this is just not helping us. I can just write it down faster and get it more correct. But because they were listened to, because they were such a huge part of actually helping the tool improve and learn, that it's now working fantastic, and they say they actually can't live without it. They can't imagine doing their roles without it, because they're able to bring a lighter emotional load to their customers when they're on the phone, because they're not having to use half their brain to do the writing. So that business result of saving 1.5 minutes per call times roughly 11,000 calls on average per week, it's making a huge difference. And the business, rather than actually redeploying that time into another activity, they've given it back to the customer service agents to take a breath if they want it. And if they're ready to jump on the next call, they can go. So a really fantastic example. It has paid for itself in 6 to 9 months. They expected it to take a year. The next example is Matter Private. This is another really interesting use case. They have just rolled out Pearl. About 1.5 years ago, they rolled out Pearl, which is their electronic health record for all patients. You know, when you go into the hospital, this big, huge file shows up and you check in, and there's all these stickers, and each nurse comes in and checks all your stuff and moves a sticker from one place to the other place. This is expected, or was expected when they implemented it, for all 3,000 roles in the hospital, 3,000 employees, to have a savings from the use of the electronic patient records. 250 distinct roles in the hospital. And HR were tasked with, can you go and figure out the return on investment for us? Yeah, we've been there before. Not that easy, is it? So they used AI. And with AI's help, because none of this was proprietary information, because there was no personal data involved, they uploaded all 250 job descriptions. There was nothing that talked about Matter Private, nothing confidential, and had AI analyze for them the top 10 tasks of each role, and that was able to map them to 85% of the actual activities that took place across the hospital on an everyday basis. They were then able to see and ask AI, what would you recommend as where would there be time savings in using this electronic system? It identified that. HR then had the role of going back out and checking that with the subject matter owners of each of those job families. That meant it was just a tick box exercise. It was very quick for them to do that, whereas normally that would have been months of analysis on both sides. Where they were able to spend their quality time was to look at, well, if this is the time saved in each of our 250 roles, where do we redeploy the time for better patient care? They then went back to AI and brought AI into the loop and said, well, if these are the recommendations between HR and the subject matter experts, did we miss anything? And there was 85% consistency. So they were able to look at, well, were there any things that AI recommended that are practical that we can then build back into this? So it's an excellent example, and one of the really cool things, from my perspective as an IT nerd, is they used GPT. They didn't have to go and implement an expensive system because none of it was proprietary. So they were able to use a public system to be able to do this piece of work, saving them 110 hours, but actually just delivering a super complex piece of work very efficiently. I'm going. Just a couple more. Musgraves. They have invested $50 million since the beginning of last year. They were able to take their SLAs from no more than 2 hours of IT outages to 0 outages across their 1,000 stores, going from 3 engineers to 1 engineer to make that happen. So just think about all the time that has actually saved, and there's no outages now in their stores. And the last example is Heineken, who are on an early journey to replace or to add a chatbot agent to their recruitment process to give their candidates real-time access to information, to personalize their scheduling, and to reduce some of the anxiety that candidates feel when going through because they don't hear enough from us as they go through searches. So Heineken are on that very early journey, and I'll tell you more about it if you'd like to know afterwards, because I know that we're close to being out of time. To just finish up, I just want to actually say to you, a lot of people tell me, particularly in HR, that they're nervous about getting started. They don't know enough about AI. Learn it with your teams. This is an emotional journey, and if you put the time in strategically and systematically to take your teams through this, you will actually get to a stage where you can make a great impact on your organization. And I've given you the QR code as a call to action. If you hold your cameras up and hover over the QR code, you'll get a little link to it. You click on that link. This is to a scorecard that will help you assess, are your people ready for AI? Is your culture ready? Do you have the capacity? Do you have the capability? It's a 15-question survey. It takes less than 3 minutes. You get the results instantly. So you have the 5 enablers. You have your call to action, and I just want to thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. You've been extremely engaged, and I'm going to come and join Ingrid now, and she's going to ask you some questions. So I'm sorry, but I was told I had until 11.
Yeah, no worries at all. I'm just going to allow you one question.
Absolutely.
Okay, because we are running a little bit behind. What is the threat to workers or to companies that don't take this seriously? Is there any company that can afford to sit back and say, we're grand?
To be honest, no. I was telling Ingrid that I was having a dinner with a friend of mine the other night, and he knows me really well, and we're always talking about each other's businesses. We're both entrepreneurs. And he said, to be honest, I still can't figure out how it's relevant for my organization. So we started talking about, well, where do you want to go with your business? What's your vision? And very quickly, we were able to get into some very simple ideas. If you don't actually take the opportunity to connect your business to your vision, to where AI can help in a way that other tools have not been able to help before, you are going to get left behind in terms of your competition. It's that simple.
Stephanie, that was a fascinating presentation. Thank you very much indeed.